Welcome back, 8th graders. We are solving equations using the distributive property.
Yes, distribution!
All right. So, because of all that we've gone through, there are some steps to know when to do what. And so we're going to go through that real quick. So I think about it in 3 questions. First is, do I need to distribute? And we're going to talk about what that looks like. If you answer yes, then distribute. Then move, oops, I was writing distribute and then also thinking then at the same time. Distribute, then move to question number 2. If you answer no, you move to question number 2. All right, so that's the first question. Do I need to distribute? Second question. Do I have same side like terms? Yes. Then we're going to combine them. Move to question 3. All right, if no, then we just move to question 3. All right, and then question number 3, do I have variables on both sides? All right, so that means a variable on either side of the equal sign. If yes, then we're going to move variables to same side. If no, then it's a 1 or 2 step equation. And you just need to solve. After question 3, you are left with a 1 or 2 step equation, and so then you solve. But these are the 3 questions to help you through the multi-step equations. If you need to, pause and write what I wrote. All right, so here's our first example. So I ask myself, do I need to distribute? How do I know if I need to distribute? We distribute if we have a number outside of our parentheses. So you may remember that in at least 7th grade, doing the distributive property. So for here, that's going to be taking 4 and we're going to multiply equally. That's what distributive property means, through my parentheses. So 4 times 8 is 32, and 4 times negative, this would be negative 1c because that invisible 1. 4 times a negative 1c will be a negative 4c equals 8c plus 16 minus 6c. All right, so that's my distributive property. Question number 2. Do I have same side like terms? And if it helps, you can use the line through the equal sign. But yes, I do have same side like terms because I have a positive 8c and a negative 6c. So on the left, it's going to stay 32 minus 4c, and on the right, 8c minus 6c is 2c. So we're going to have 2c plus 16. All right, so that was the second question. Third question, do we have variables on both sides of the equal sign? The answer to that is also yes. I have a negative 4c on the right and a 2c, or a negative 4c on the left and a 2c on the right. So the smaller number is the negative 4c, so I'm going to add 4c to zero it out on the left-hand side. And so now we have 32 equals 6c plus 16. And then from here, it's a two-step equation. So I need to zero out my 16. So I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. And so then I'll end up with 16 equals 6x. And then we're going to divide both by 6. 6 does not divide into that equally, so I'm going to simplify that. So I know that 2 goes into both 16 and 6 because they are both even numbers. And so now I know that x is going to equal 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And so c equals 8/3. All right. Next example. All right, so on this one, it doesn't look like distributive property, but we're going to make it distributive property. And how do we make it distributive property? I know that you dislike fractions. You may not know that Miss Cartwright dislikes fractions. If I can get rid of them, I'm going to try to get rid of them. Although I can work with fractions faster than I can work with decimals. Now, to get rid of a fraction, we multiply by the LCD, or a common denominator. In this case, that's going to be 4. So I'm going to multiply the left by 4, and I'm going to multiply the right by 4. The left is just multiplying. So 4 times 12 is 48. The right, I need to distribute. So I'm going to take 4 times 3/4. The 4s will divide out, right? Because I have 3/4 times 4/1. So the 4s will divide out, and I'm left with 3. So we have 3 in plus, and then I'm going to take 4 times 5, which is 20. And now, instead of a fraction, I have all whole numbers. So from here, it's a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. And so then we have 48 minus 20 is 28 equals 3n. Divide both sides by 3, and n will equal 28/3 because 3 does not go into 28 and nothing else goes into 3. And so that's my final answer. And if you're like, well, but how do we know if that's true and that we do have the correct answer? Well, you can take that 28/3 and plug it back in and take 3/4 times 28/3 plus 5. And actually, let's do that real quick. 3/4 times 28/3 plus 5. And I know that the 3's will divide out, leaving me with 1's in both of those places. And I know that 4 divides into 28 7 times. And so now we have 7 plus 1, or 1, 7 plus 5, which is 12. And so it does work. All right, last problem. An apprentice pastry chef has been left alone to make 8 cakes. He cannot remember how much sugar to put in the filling. He does know that each cake, not counting the filling, requires 1 1/4 cups of sugar. So without the filling, I know it's going to take 1 1/4 cup. Plus whatever our filling is, we'll call that F. The head chef also told him he would need a total of 12 cups. So cake, no filling. Filling, that's all the sugar. We are making 8 cakes, right? That's up here. And we know we'll need a total of 12 cups of sugar. So I'm going to first change the 1 1/4 into an improper fraction. So 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5/4 plus filling equals 12. Now we're going to multiply. We're going to distribute that 8 through. So I know 8 is divisible by 4 and becomes 2. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 8f equals 12. Subtract 10. And then 8f equals 2. I'm going to rewrite that up here. 8f equals 2. Divide by 8. And f will equal 1/4. And so 1/4 cup of sugar for the filling. And that is how we use the distributive property to solve equations, whether it be real world or just given an equation. So until next time, 8th graders, pieces.